Hi there, my name is Fix Fox, and welcome back to Heroes of Might and Magic 3. This is going to be the second scenario in the Yog campaign, Birth of a Barbarian here in the Shadow of Death. This is going to be the meeting. Of course, we have already escaped from Burkata. I don't think that this is going to be the last we've ever seen of the wizards, though. And now as we go into Krulod, there's much more that has developed. We're going to let Yog tell us that bit of the story in just one moment. But the description of this scenario, the meeting, is as such. Get Yog to ULGAK, the capital of Krulod, to offer his services to Duke Winston Boragus and win the scenario. However, if Yog is defeated in combat, the scenario is lost. Yog is limited to level 15, but will carry his experience and skills on to the next scenario. This is going to be a small map. This is going to be us as the blue player against, it looks like, one purple player. Let me put this on impossible difficulty as always. And then we do have a choice between 3 different starting bonuses. That's going to be starting off with the Citadel, starting off with Tin Crystal, or starting off with the Ogre Fort. As always, let's let the dice roll decide what our bonus is going to be. We're going to roll a 1. The 1 is going to indicate to us that we shall pick the Citadel. And then, folks, let's hear it from Yog the Barbarian and dive right in.
Since escaping from Burkata, I have been attacked by a number of Krulod's armies. I do not understand why this would be, for I was invited here by the Duke himself. I must travel to the capital to find out why Winston Boragus and all of his forces have turned against me.
Dude, Yog sounds pissed. And I would be too, understandable, given the circumstances here. So, Ain gave up pursuit even sooner than you had hoped. Okay. Not wanting to start a war between Burkata and Krulod, she retreated shortly after you crossed the border. To be on the safe side, you still decided to lay low for a couple of weeks before beginning your trek to ULGAK, Krulod's capital city, to offer your services to Duke Winston Boragus. So we start off again as Yog. He is a wizard, but with his speciality of Chain Lightning, he is not allowed to get a spellbook in these scenarios, and he's not allowed to cast any magic whatsoever. This is how we have built Yog so far. He's got the expert tactics, the advanced offense, the basic pathfinding, and the advanced logistics, not to mention the basic estates, basic diplomacy, basic archery, and the basic ballistics. Good choices, bad choices. I don't think I hate this. The thing I'd really wish is that we'd gotten leadership instead of basic diplomacy, but maybe with the estates and the diplomacy combo, we'll have the opportunity to do some nifty fun things. We will see. Otherwise, we also do start off with, it looks like 25 goblins, 6 wolf riders, and we get a good look at the stronghold faction for the first time here. This is our citadel that we do start off with. Looks like we only have the goblins that we can get out of the mess hall for now. Everything else is far, far away. We are 2,500 gold away from this town hall. We might try and pick up that as soon as possible. Otherwise, week 1, you can oftentimes, with the Stronghold faction, get up to behemoths if you're able to really focus in on the requirements. Maybe that 10 crystal as a starting bonus would have been very, very useful to get us these behemoths, but I'm sure we're going to find some crystal somewhere. Immediately in our surroundings, I do see, it looks like some treasure around us. This Shrine of Magic Thought is not going to be useful at all, but the Orc Tower for some additional second level creatures will be very nice, not to mention the treasure chest. Oh, but it is guarded by a pack of the Orc Chiefs, so we're probably not going to go that direction anytime soon. I think that we're going to pop in, grab ourselves... Well, we don't have any gold, so there's no point in popping in. Otherwise, if we'd had gold, we would have picked up some of those other creatures. I think that resources are going to be most important here. Anytime I'm playing on impossible difficulty, I say to myself, look, I will get the opportunity to get experience in these scenarios. It's not very important that I take the experience now over the other options. Immediately, I see this Necklace of Swiftness. I see a +1 to my attack with the Mercenary Camp, guarded by some Wolf Raiders, and I do see a Goblin Barracks, guarded by some Hobgoblins. But this +1 Necklace of Swiftness can be absolutely massive. I'm going to forego that fight, even though I think I can absolutely take it. I just know that ore is really important, and I'm glad that I did because of pathing reasons. Once I go into this little alcove, I may never have to come back. We picked up 2,600 gold. That's going to immediately get us our... What is this? It's not City Hall. Town Hall for 1,000 gold per day. We're now going to need to get things like the Mage Guild, the Blacksmith, and so on in order to get the next step for our gold generation. Journal entry number 8. My scouts report that there are several routes leading to ULGAK, but large garrisons guard them all. Crulod must be expecting a major threat if all of its forces are on alert. I much that's a spelling mistake. I much reach the capital quickly to offer my assistance. I much reach it. I much. It just sounds strange to my ear. Probably because it's completely and utterly incorrect. Okay, so one important thing here that we need to focus on, if we're going to be playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3, is that we got to talk about the differences between Heroes 2 and Heroes 3. One major example is this. It's the way that you end up needing to calculate your damage when it comes to your attack skill and your defense skill. Yog the Barbarian with 11 attack and 10 defense is so tough that even though I had very, very few troops before those hobgoblins joined me, I felt very comfortable in taking that fight, as do I feel fairly comfortable in fighting these raiders. Not as comfortable, but fairly comfortable. And why is that? Well, it's for this reason. I look at this +1 attack over defense as such. You have a base level of 4 attack and 2 defense on these goblins. Say that I attacked neutral goblins of the same ilk, just on the neutral adventuring map type. Then they're going to stack up evenly, assuming that there's no attack and defense modifications. For every point of attack that a creature has over the defense of another creature, they're going to do an additional 5% bonus damage here in Heroes of Might and Magic 3, as opposed to 10% bonus damage in Heroes 2. The same basic ratio applies with the defense skill. In Heroes 3, for every point of defense over attack, that means that you're going to do a reduced 2.5% damage. And in Heroes 2, it's 5%. So the ratio is the same from game to game, but they crunch the numbers a little bit closer. And the point that I'm making here is this. This 11 attack and 10 defense is going to go a long way in modifying our damage. We're going to be hitting very, very hard. We're going to be hitting very, very fast. And so this fight does not give me major concerns. I do split off the 1 stack of the Wolf Raiders just so I know that they can be a 2-hex creature and maybe stop some fights. Okay, and let's fight this fight even better. 16 Hobgoblins, 6 Wolf Raiders, and the 5 Goblins. I think we can do even better, especially with the tactics here. I think it'll be best actually to try and put my Wolf Riders in this very corner here. And then this Wolf Rider here. I gotta remind myself how far these Wolf Raiders can go. I have Wolf Riders, these are Wolf Raiders. Let's bury the Goblins deep down. Let's get our single stacks. Let's move this guy over here, this guy up here, and here. And because these Wolf Raiders have 9 speed, and that's faster than all of my creatures, except for, well, even the Hobgoblins, they are going to get the first hit on me. There's nothing I can do. Let's let them waste themselves on single stacks of creatures and go from there. And I kind of hope that they don't get any good morale, just to make sure that there's no... I don't want them to jump the gun too soon. I have a trap in mind, and I just want my troops to fight once the trap is sprung. There goes 1 Goblin, 1 Wolf Raider, 2 Goblins total. And then as you can see, my big stacks of creatures are not being touched. And we're going to do some tremendous damage to these enemies, killing big stacks where we can. Looks like the Wolf Raiders actually are going to focus the Wolf Riders. That's a little interesting to me. I would not have expected that. Anyway, but because of the weight function, the enemy is able to get the first hit twice, essentially. But the battle is won. I should probably have just hit Q. There it is. Okay, so we did much better. 7 Hobgoblins, 3 Wolf Riders, and 8 Goblins. That's just fine for me. 250 experience, and this is really an excellent artifact. The Necklace of Swiftness, giving yourself that +1, is so good. And that can never be overstated. I think that we just need to wait on our gold. We're going to have lots of things that we want to purchase. I don't think it's worth waiting. I don't think it's worth going crazy and doing more than we ought to. I should have looked at the Necklace of Swiftness there. But warn about the neck. It will increase the combat speed of all of our units by +1. Mercenary Camp. Should have read that one too. Man, I'm a little out of sorts here today. I need to make sure I'm reading everything. That's one of the best parts about Heroes of Might and Magic to me, is the reading. It's not... Which is more important, the tactical gameplay or the thematics? I think that they are both equally important. So that's why we need to read everything. Learning Stone. Might as well pick up the 1,000 experience now. A smooth stone on the face of this pillar begins to swirl as you approach. Looking into it, you are amazed to see answers to questions you have pondered for years. The stone suddenly goes still, but you realize you have learned much. It's going to be quite some time before we get more experience, I do believe. This pack of rocks, I don't know about a pack of rocks, actually. I think it's not going to be a bad idea to forego the rocks for now. I think that we can come back and get them in short order. So I'm going to, yeah, but it's 1,000 gold. I just talked about how important the gold is, or excuse me, how important the attack skill and the defense skill are. I think it's probably okay with my single stacks of goblins to fight this fight. $15,328. I think we can win. Yeah, Yog, I'm sure that you want to run. Oh, there's Thunderbirds. Run! Scatter! We lose! We suck! Don't do it! No! Yeah, actually, I think in these numbers, I believe the AI, that's what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? Yeah, that's way too many. Yeah, we're sunk. We're doomed. The Wolf Raiders are going to go down. Oh, gosh. But that does make room for the rest of these other creatures to attack, and attack without the retaliation. So that's something anyway. Yeah, but we're wasting ourselves on this one Thunderbird, and we're still not going to get to do as much damage as we would have hoped. It looks like there's going to be one stack that could attack here. Oh, goodness. It's just bad all the way around. We're just going to hit Q and end this fight. Well, this is embarrassing. Yog wants to run. I'm going to let him. Okay. All right. Well, we lost the scenario, and that's the video. My name is Fix Fox, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. I'm just kidding. No. I don't think that we need to go through the rigmarole that we just went through. We're just going to hop right back in, and we're going to recognize that Fix Fox made a mistake, but every single loss I've ever had for Heroes of Might and Magic 2 or Heroes of Might and Magic 3 so far has been on camera. I see no reason for us to stop that now. So this time we actually roll a couple of the Orc Chieftains. That's going to be pretty darn useful. We still are hoping to get all the gold that we had in the previous scenario, so we can get this on day one, our Town Hall. Looks like we're very well on our way to getting that. I'm guessing that we're probably going to have to fight Hobgoblins this time, whereas before we did not. And this time we even get our Ore Pit on day one. As we're optimizing this just a little bit more, we didn't go back and try and pick up Goblins with 0 gold. So, not too bad. Not too bad. Otherwise, we're going to for sure have to fight this fight, and I'm guessing we're going to take some losses this time. Yep, the Hobgoblins are not as excited to see us. These losses actually look pretty good. I'm going to accept this and just call that a penalty for having to restart the scenario. We'll just call that a penalty. But then the Wolf Riders, I will fight that fight one more time. I think that just makes too much sense. Fight this one again. Yeah, and the losses are looking pretty bad. Losing out on 18 Hobgoblins or whatever we had in the first instance is actually a pretty massive deal. That is not a small thing. So the same strategy will apply. The only difference is that this time we do have these ranged creatures with the orcs. I don't think that they're going to do that much damage. I don't think it's going to save us. So, one more time. One more time. Daft Punk would be proud. I wonder what Daft Punk is up to. Of course, Daft Punk, the very famous musical artist, they have retired in the last, oh gosh, the part of my brain that remembers life before the COVID-19 pandemic says, oh yeah, that happened just like 2 years ago that Daft Punk retired. I think it's much closer to somewhere like the 5-year range, and that weirds me out. It doesn't feel right that should be that far away or that far in advance, but I think it's true. Something about my brain just says pre-COVID and post-COVID, and that's all there is to it. Pre-COVID and post-COVID. I made a mistake here. I thought that I had left a little gap here, but not a big gap. Obviously, that was a mistake. I would like to let my orcs do full damage. I think we can kill 2 of the Wolf Raiders here. It was possible. It did not happen, but it was possible, and that's actually going to be pretty massive. 25 to 51, we better try and kill a whole stack here. Yeah. Tough fight. Tough fight. And I would have liked to have done this much better, but 4 and 13, that's actually worse than the AI did. So be it. Sometimes you gotta take your lumps. Okay. This time, though, we're not going to attack the rocks. That's going to save us. And this time, we actually get to read. I'm not going to mess this up this time. Reading the artifacts again, very important. Visiting a local wise man, you explain the intent of your journey. He reaches into a sack and withdraws a strange necklace, which he hands to you. So +1 on the speed, +1 to the attack skill. I'm going to soak up these mercenary camps like candy. Absolutely. I'm going to refuse to do anything but pick up every single one of these that I can find. With that wood we just picked up, I think that we ought to look at getting either the wolves or the orc tower. I'm going to pick up the orc tower now, in large part because I'm going to want it. It's not required for the cliff nest. It's not required for the behemoth lair, but I do have this, where is it? Orc tower right here. And that indicates to me that the bonus I'll get from having the external dwelling, that's going to be worth my time every time. Journal entry number 9. My scouts reported. What's with the English in this writing here? My scouts reported have returned with very disturbing news. Krulod is readying its military to go to war with my army and me. I have been tricked. Duke Winston Boragus lured me here with his invitation to join him, and now I find myself surrounded by hostile forces. I don't know why I should be the target of such a ploy, but I mean to find out. I will fight my way to Winston Boragus' doorstep and cut his treacherous throat. We will see. We will see. We're going to play this much safer than we did before. Picking up some of these freebies here. This wolf pin, I think we can actually grab that. Crystal is very useful. If we can get 10 crystal, then we can, of course, get our behemoths. It's day 4. I think that we can probably plan on getting behemoths in week 2. Week 1 seems a little bit out of reach here. I do see the Castle of Crag. This is going to be a worthwhile goal, but we are going to have to go through one of these garrisons, and those look pretty tough. Should I explore around and then come back? I think I will try to. As far as gold goes, I know that we can get another hero right now. Is that a worthwhile use of my time? Let's assume that we're going to ignore gold for now, because there's a gold mine. Troops can help us get this 1,000 gold per day. And with that being said, maybe we spend the time to go here and here. Oh gosh, there's a subterranean gate. I think we're going to go through the gate just to see what's on the other side. On a very small map like this, it might be incredibly useful to see what's there. We're short 4 wood. That's going to take us 2 more days to get, or we can work towards the gold. And even if we do, we're going to need 15 wood. We're just short on wood in a major way. There's no wood elsewise here on the map. I don't know if it's better to save the wood and get the wolf pen, or if it's better to go for the city hall. This is going to take more wood than the wolf pen, and with the wolves, I might be able to overwhelm the enemies. I think that we're gonna wait on getting the city hall, because the hobgoblins do cost additional wood. That's a little bit rough. I think that we're gonna wait and we're gonna get the wolves. That's gonna be my plan. We do see some enemy activity for the very first time to our immediate north here. There are resources. We're gonna pick up these resources. That's 4 crystal. How many crystal do we have now? At this time, we've got 4 total. I'm gonna pick up the gold here and here. Oh, and a free gold mine. Well, we made the appropriate decision. My word. I don't want to risk missing out on this gold mine today. Just with my movement points, I wasn't sure how close that would be. We'll pick up the campfire on the way back. Wow, this is a huge pickup for us. I don't love the idea of fighting hobgoblins with these few of troops, so we're gonna wait on that. But there's another sawmill down here. That's going to be critically important. I think it's time to pick up another hero. We're going to get Tyraxor or Tarek, it's going to be Tyraxor, because the Wolf Riders that he comes with are going to be pretty darn useful. More rare than the Gem Pond is the Mystic Pond. You never know what precious resources you will find. I agree. We're going to pick up all the orcs, all the goblins, and I would love to set off tomorrow. Unfortunately, I don't think I've got time to wait, because I think that I need to get what I need now. And what I need now is absolutely going to be that other sawmill. And maybe even I get a nice creature in the refugee camp. We saw that in the previous scenario, of course. We had angels and archdevils available to us, and we were very sorry that we were only able to get the angels. Okay, so it's day 6. I think that we are going to clear here and then right back in just 1 second. So +1 spell power with the scholar. As you ride into the clearing, you notice a university scholar resting his horse. He agrees to teach you some of what he knows before setting off. +1 spell power. Pretty interesting to note on that the spell power actually is going to be worth getting. I think that later in future scenarios, Yog will be able to cast some spells, and so it'll be worth his time to still do that. Even though right now we can't cast any spells, it'll be worth it later to have that. There's something right here. How far can Tyraxor go? He can go pretty far. I'm going to want to make sure that I'm able to get this sawmill at the beginning of day 1. There are rocks that are guarding this ogre fort. I don't want to deal with them. And so we're going to head back, and then on day 7 we're going to clear all this out. The gold mine that we already picked up over there, though, was very much worth our time. I'm thrilled to have had that happen. I don't think we're going to get 20 wood. That would be maybe the next best thing I would love here for the ogres. Actually, I always love the rocks more than anything. We're going to pick up rocks on day 7, and this is going to be a pretty darn good first week. I truly believe. Now, all these troops we've brought over here with Tyraxor, there's 4 wood. We're getting there. He's going to make sure that Yog has an army that he can actually use to fight these creatures with. Single stacks. Because I have the tactics, I think that the single stacks are going to be just as good. Well, they're going to be just as good as single stacks of the Wolf Riders. I'm going to have 1 single stack of the Wolf Riders just because there's a lot of extra flexibility I can have there. These losses look just fine. I think I could do even better, though. 2 stacks of 18 and 17. I like that stack from the AI. I think that that's a very good decision on their part. And I'm just going to have 1 goblin sitting here while the last Wolf Rider goes here. Nice quality of life buff with the tactics, by the way. I don't think that in the base level version that you could actually click on the creature that you wanted to deal with. I think that you needed to just keep cycling through until you found the creature that you really wanted. These hobgoblins are going to wait, so that way we can't do full damage to them. Our defenders are going to stand steadfast and die very quickly. Yep, just like that. These hobgoblins cannot reach us. For that reason, I will attack here now. Down to 6 hobgoblins. I don't think I lost a single Wolf Raider there. And now we're just going to break out of containment. I think that these 12 orcs are actually going to do a great job for us in defeating these 9 hobgoblins. And I don't think that 9 hobgoblins is going to kill 1 whole orc. Even if they had the chance, I don't think that they would. Okay, so 1 goblin goes down. Not too bad. I'm going to step on this refugee camp again in case I get something super nice. Imps? That's not super nice. That's just kind of meh. We're going to save the imps for later. For somebody else, of course. We're going to be so kind and so generous. After saving a young boy from a vicious pack of wolves, you return him to his father's manor. The grateful nobleman awards you with the badge of courage +1 morale. That's an excellent pickup. I love morale, especially when you're barbarians and you're fighting these fights with thin margins and trying to make sure you're getting the very, very most out of every single fight you can. It is so nice to have that additional turn here and there. Not always you get it, but when you do, you're feeling pretty okay. I think that we're good to just wait, try to let these guys come closer so that our orcs do full damage. Well, not today anyway. And then we're going to let these defenders take the brunt of the damage once again. Okay. And then just wait across the board. We're going to wait here as well. Okay. And then I think it's not a bad idea to use my 1 other goblin to take this retaliation. That'll let my orcs focus on this stack, and then if there's any left over, I'm not going to worry about taking damage there. Can I kill all 4? I pretty much can. The low end of damage is 38. That's a reasonable calculation to say I'm going to do just a little bit better than the lowest amount. 2 goblins, 1 wolf raider. I think that's exactly what I lost the first time. So we didn't do any better. Do I need this wood right now? We currently have 12 wood. Any purchases we need to make? No. The cliff nest only requires the ore. And so then I think that Yog, I have a choice. Do I have Yog go out of his way just to pick up this wood? I think so. He's going to want to step on this refugee camp anyway, and then Tyraxor can head up this subterranean gate, and we can figure out what else we need to do up there. Crystal here, and again, crystal here. Yeah, we've got behemoths in week 2. We just have to be smart about it. Fire elementals are actually a pretty good unit, and for the cost and for what they're going to provide, I think that we're going to take the troops now. The badge of courage is going to be very, very nice here. It will help us ultimately to have that additional bit of morale just for cases such as these. Journal entry number 10. I tried getting past the garrison, but the barbarians have packed them pretty tight. I again considered finding a pass through the mountains, but my army is just too large to survive such a trek. Fortunately, I spotted some caves leading to underground tunnels. It may be that my luck is turning around because these caves don't look to be guarded. That's actually bad. Actually, no, that's actually good. I said that was bad for this reason. I thought, oh no, the enemy is not going to come through these garrisons, and so I should be just fine. But if this route through the underground's not guarded, then it will potentially be a way that the enemy will come and come upon me. Yeah, no. I think that you're more likely to have the enemy come through these garrisons anyway, because these are not one-way garrisons. They can come through at any time they choose. So we're going to ignore that for now. I'd love to pick up this ogre fort while we are here. Rocks are pretty scary though. A pack of rocks. I mean, that's what stopped us before. The Medusa stores. I don't think that we need the resources for the Medusa stores at this time. Yeah, we're going to need a whole ton of crystal, but I think that everything else is going to be fine. So tell you what, we're going to ignore the Medusa stores for now. We're going to hope that we can come back later. We're really going to try and prioritize these rocks. We are really going to try and prioritize those rocks, but not before we go back for one more resupply. We've got enough gold. I think it's not a bad idea to consider getting another hero. We've got all the resources necessary for the behemoths. If Yog goes around the long way, then we can save the gold on the 2500. But if we do, that's going to save, or that's not going to help us get this gold mine quicker. I think that the extra 2500 gold you're going to get from the gold mine is better than anything, and you've got these fire elementals that you can use as a buffer. Are we going to want or need a third hero? I think so. 2 heroes on a small map, it runs pretty well. I think that a third hero, though, is not going to be wasted, especially since it looks like there's so much ground still to cover. It is said that an angel will brighten the morale of your army, except for the dead. I agree with that. By the way, looks like we have the Barbarian is going to be somebody that we need to contend with. They have more heroes, they have more towns. I am expecting some aggression from them very, very quickly. Let's make sure that we don't fall prey to that aggression. And let's pick up all of our troops here. Especially, most important is probably our own rocks. So long as we get the Barbarians by the end of this, or the Behemoths by the end of this week, I think I'm going to be fine to pick up the rest of these troops. That's what we're going to do. So, Krelion is going to head up this way, grab a couple of goblins on the way up. 15 more goblins join our army. And then we should be able to fight these rocks next turn. That's going to be an extra 1,000 gold per day. That's going to be worth our time. No other purchases to make here until we can do a little bit more with ourselves here. So Yog is going to go to this point for the resupply. And then I'm going to want to try and make sure that it is the fire elementals that do take the majority of this damage. I'm going to do my stacks like this. The tactics, though, aren't going to work out nearly so favorable for me. This 2-hex creature with the Wolf Rider, that's going to be probably the best split for me. And then let's use the tactics to our advantage here. We're going to win, for sure, but the losses are going to be what matters the most to me. So everybody crowd around our best friends, the orcs. Let's have these goblins go here. Fire elementals here. One more fire elemental covering up the goblins. And then this Wolf Raider is going to prevent some area, some surface area here on these Wolf Raiders. 3 stacks. This is actually, I think, better for us than the previous fight was, where there was all these different rocks. And there's many less, right? 8, 9, 10, 11? 11 instead of 16. So ultimately, the roll was way better for us. Even though we have 2 more Thunderbirds to deal with, we've got way less creatures in total. This shouldn't be a problem. 5 Wolf Riders do go down, plus the good morale. Jeez, that was great. That was thrilling. These rocks are not going to be able to reach us. I think that we might as well just envelop these creatures. We do have the 1 single stack of fire elementals. We're going to wait. We're going to let them go. And I'm glad I did, given that good morale just happened yet again. So we're going to wait on everybody, and I'm going to take the retaliation with this 1 stack here. Okay, that's why we have them. That's why we have them. Everybody else can focus on whoever they choose, but fire elementals go down. And so on and so forth. My 7 are, let's see, should we attack these rocks here? Oh, no, we should not waste 144 damage on the low end. We should definitely kill what we can, where we can. And then 4 more goblins go down. Yeah, that good morale was rough. 11 Wolf Riders. I don't think that was in the plans. Yeah, that was not in the plans, but we're gonna take that for the gold. Overall, that's gonna be worth our time. And now we've opened up this avenue. It'll be much quicker to get home for all the rest of our troops. I think that we can roll through ogres. I think we can roll through Wolf Raiders. I think that we should do so at this time. So let's focus on the Wolf Raiders first, because that'll give us more wolves here in this pen as well. The Wolf Raiders want to, or they're awed by the power of our forces. They begin to scatter. Do you want to pursue and engage them? I don't think so. Again, for the reasons we talked about before, I don't think that it's actually going to matter. I think that we're going to have plenty of opportunities for experience later. We might as well take the resources and run. This feels pretty good to me, by the way. I'm expecting that an enemy is going to be right around here somewhere. I'm expecting to lose Tyraxor, but I think it's fine for me. Maybe I'm going to lose out on some resources to the south. I'm going to grab this crystal and then head back south, and then try and go back through this monolith 2-way so I can see what's on the other side of that. I don't know where the enemies are going to come from yet, but I know that they're coming, so we're going to ignore them for right now. Time to start working on the city hall. I'm going to pick up the marketplace because I'm not going to spend more wood than is required for the Behemoth Crag. And 5 wood, 500 gold at a time for these kind of secondary buildings is pretty okay for me. So there we do see our enemy right here. This is going to be Steig. I'm not sure how you say her name, but this is a witch for the Fortress faction. I think that it's a good time for us to ignore this crystal. We're going to have plenty of crystal. Let's just stay alive and head on back, taking even more gold. And there's actually another ore pit here. There's much to be done here. I think that this is actually going to be just fine for us. Shall we assist Yog here? I think so. 2 heroes working in tandem. 1 hero carries the brunt of the offensive, and then the other heroes just pick up the extras for you, like the crystal and whatnot. That's going to be the ultimate plan. And I think it's always a good plan. Every single time. It works. It works 70% of the time, 100% of the time. And so we're going to allow it to continue to do that. These Wolf Riders are so exposed here. And ultimately, I think I like this decision by having everybody just wait. We're not going to do a ton of damage with these orcs. I get it. But I don't think that there's any problem with just kind of waiting, letting them come to us, and then we can, again, as we've mentioned before, kind of spring our trap and head on out. We're going to wait on all of these creatures. I don't want the Wolf Riders to take a beating again this time. I will use the Fire Elementals here to take this retaliation. And then, are we going to focus on 1 stack of creatures or 2? I think I'm actually going to take the retaliation on this 1 stack as well. So that way I have the flexibility. I can attack wherever I really want to. I think that the 14 Wolf Riders can actually deal with these 3 ogres. And I think that the rocks are going to do pretty well against these 5. Yeah, pretty well. Do you think? 12 attack. 12 attack. Yog is super tough. Advanced diplomacy. versus the advanced ballistics. I think that the ballistics is just too useful for the stronghold faction. You've got goblins, you've got the wolf riders, you've got the ogres, you've got these slow creatures that really want to just get in there and cause some damage, but they can't. And so you gotta enable them to do the very best that they can do. This Centaur's Axe is, I think it's +1, +2 attack. I think it's +1. But the windmill especially would be nice. Do I go out of my way for that? How much of a rush am I in? It's day 3. I think I'm not in a rush at all. I think that we're here to kind of clear out everything. And we're going to take this. This is massive. A group of orc chieftains with the desire for greater glory wish to join you. Do you accept? We just gained 19 orc chieftains. My word, that is thrilling. That makes me think that I can maybe even consider taking on a Cyclops stockpile. I'm not going to be hasty. We've already seen what happens when Thickfox is hasty, but we're going to keep that in mind, that that's now at least a possibility for us. Probably wait until we get at least one behemoth to do that. You see a heavy axe embedded deeply in the ground. After several unsuccessful attempts by your army to remove it, you tightly grip the handle of the axe and effortlessly pull it free. I always love this because I've seen, some really wimpy rampart heroes who've picked up a Centaur's Axe, and I'm saying, what? You're telling me that the Dendroids couldn't get the Centaur's Axe free, but Gem, the sorceress, could do that? Yeah, no, I'm not buying it. Anyway, but that's going to be a +2 to our attack, so +2, not just +1. Pretty nice. We're going to pick up definitely the gold. We still need to get the behemoths. And again, I do believe we're going to have plenty of time. Fingers crossed, I think we're going to have plenty of time to defeat our enemies and get the experience. Although I'm starting to wonder if I should start to get the experience or not. We just found, by the way, we were able to do enough scouting here that we can see ULGAK. This is our objective for this scenario. There's a Behemoth Crag that they have not picked up. There's Goldmine here. But this is what we need to focus on. There's a chance, if we can find a way with some scouts to get into this area, maybe we do a very, very quick rush. And I'm talking very, very quick. Maybe we are ignoring this city hall, actually. And maybe we go straight for the behemoths, we get the castle, we get 3 weeks worth of growth, and then we defeat our enemies. I think that's actually a pretty reasonable, but we're going to have to be pretty smart with our scouts here. I think that Krillion needs to head down to the subterranean gate and get into this monolith 2-way today. So I say today, and really tomorrow is actually more reasonable. Otherwise, the longer you sit and wait and let the enemies build up, the worse off you're going to be. We can't get the ogre fort because we're going to need the wood in just a second. Let's see what the enemy does here. Yeah, their little scouting party raiders, they're not able to do much. In that instance, Stig just looks like her job is just to pick up freebies. She's not working on picking up this artifact here, the Endless Purse of Gold for 500 extra gold per day. And I think that's a good choice from her. This castle is unguarded. I just realized that. I wish I'd checked on this sooner. Maybe I couldn't because of the fog of war, but now that I know that castle is unguarded, we have some nice opportunities. Even just a couple of extra goblins, a couple of extra of the wolves would be tremendous for us. We do pick up the Behemoth Crag here, so right now it's 1 behemoth. We may focus on getting the castle just so we can get these numbers up from 1 a week up to 2 a week. 3 behemoths looks pretty good. And thankfully, looks like there's a chance for us to sit here in our brand new castle. We've got wolf riders, we've got goblins, and I think that we're going to pick them all up. I want to hold on to this castle. Right now it's worth 500 gold a day to me. And so the cost in troops, I think, is worth my time. I would like to have some nice defenses here. Are these defenses going to be enough to deal with this enemy? I think so. I don't think we're going to move out anytime soon, but I think that this is enough just to stay put. So I'm just going to split off a couple of these single stacks and then hope for the best. I'm not going to invest in this town any further. Yeah, not until I figure out what Yog is going to do. Yeah, not until. Okay. Although, since I'm right here, let me defeat these orc chiefs. I am going to fight them because I do want the experience. I think that the losses are going to be just fine. That's 300 extra experience. Picking up the orcs, and then we're going to end here, and then tomorrow we're going to set off And the whole reason why all of this is possible is because we're getting 3,600 gold per day with this gold mine right here and this gold mine down under the subterranean gate. So picking up this gold mine early on was actually massive, and I'm glad that I did. I didn't realize how big of a deal that was going to be. There's a Behemoth Crag right here. This makes me wonder if I should actually focus on a longer scenario. But I'm not sure, and I'm not going to wait to find out. We do need to make sure that Stig does not go into the subterranean gate and then surprise us. I don't think I could stop her at this point, though. So for that reason, we're just going to sit here, and maybe she won't see us. With the movement points we have left, this is 725 movement points left. I'm going to wait to see what she does before we do anything else. But it's nice to know that we have a solid wall at our back. It looks like we have Garrison here, and then a path here. So we can either go to the right or we can go to the left. But there's another subterranean gate right here. How to get there, I'm not quite sure. We'll have to wait on that. Otherwise, 2,800 gold. We're going to purchase a lot of troops tomorrow. Let's make sure that we get the upgrades where we should. For 1,000 gold, I think that this is an excellent upgrade. Then again, the Hall of Valhalla is always worthwhile. And I would hate to never have Yog come back to this point. And he may not. He may not. We do need the tavern here. Again, talking about investments, going from 500 gold to 1,000, that's going to be worth my time. And then we're leaving a ton of movement points on the table here, but that's what we're going to do for today. We're going to see what Stig does. Stig does escape. And then I think, with it being day 6, let's have Yog set off, and it will be Krillian that tries to do a hero chain from the back end and move forward. We are going to pick up this Orc Tower. I do want to at least have those troops available to us, and I think that we can defeat them, so I think that we ought to. I'm still looking at this Cliff Nest and that Town Hall. Behemoth first. That one is a given. I wish I had the blacksmith so I could get the Orc Tower. Seven? We have 7. And we're gonna get the rocks up to the Thunderbirds. That's gonna be my ultimate deal. So this army is a little bit of a ragtag, a little bit of a hodgepodge, but it can do a lot of good for us. And I think that we should just set off now. Hoping to find what we can later. I don't think it's worth it to us to go through these garrisons. Not now, anyway. It's nice to have these Cyclopes here. They're kind of guarding this pass for us. Let's go through the subterranean gate and work our way up in this direction. And then Tyraxor. We might just look at trading some additional resources. I think that pretty soon we're going to get the Cliff Nest and get some rocks. So we can get those orcs, because it is day 7. It's time to get those. Okay, a little bit of a high five as we're going through. I think that I'm actually going to take these fire elementals. They've done a pretty good job for me. Let's just take them where we have them. Okay, I upgraded the troop that I wanted. I thought for a second that maybe I had upgraded the goblins to hobgoblins, but then didn't actually upgrade them, and that would have, of course, been a pretty big mistake. Let's actually split the rocks or the Thunderbirds. They're going to do a good job for us. We're going to take some losses. 1 goblin is just fine. We're going to accept that. 5 sulfur, 2,000 gold. Excellent. And then this will be fine just to figure out what this refugee camp will hold for us on day 1. Maybe it'll be something good. Maybe it'll be something bad. Tough to say. Let's take the Cliff Nest now. That'll be more rocks later. And we'll get the Town Hall next turn. And then here, I think it's not a bad idea to start considering gold. I think that we get the blacksmith now. And we press on at least towards the city hall. Okay, we've really relied on these gold mines. It's time that we do a little bit more for ourselves and just pay ourselves. Yeah. And even though I want these orcs now, I'm going to wait. I don't feel comfortable with this army defeating all of those orcs. Yeah, it'll be much better once we have a couple of the Thunderbirds. Okay, Pixie Growth is up, +5. That doesn't really hurt us. Naga Queens, I think that that's a pretty good pickup. That's a really good pickup. We're going to take the Naga Queens. Yeah, I need to move some troops around, but that's worth my time. That's a great resupply there. And I think that we will plan on getting the Ogre Lords down here, or the Ogres, excuse me, plus the Dragonwing Tabard. That's not really going to help us in large part because, well, it's just not going to help us. We don't use magic, and the Dragonwing's Tabard is very much all about the spell power and the knowledge. Let's bury some of these troops, especially the shooters. And then if the behemoths take a hit, that's fine for me. Thunderbird should be able to get out with no problem. And then once again, we're leaving the wolf raiders open to attack and the goblins. I don't love that, but I don't think that there's a better way I can do this formation. So let's just go on that and just wait all across the board and then deal with whoever comes first. I'm going to wait on the wolf riders, but probably actually attack with the behemoth. Yeah, I think I'm going to attack with the behemoth. I can take the damage from these rocks here. 6 rocks goes down to 4. That's 46 damage. We've got 80 hit points left here. Actually, that's not looking nearly as good as I thought it would. But that's okay, because my Thunderbird should wall up this whole stack. 4 rocks goes down. 1, 2, and 6. And then I will make sure that these Thunderbirds kill at least 4 more rocks here. They kill 3. Not too bad. Okay, 1 Thunderbird goes down, and then from here, I think that we just quick combat that. No problems. Do I like losing the Thunderbird? Absolutely not. But it is what it is. Let's get the gold now, because that's going to be useful as we try and do this resupply. It looks like it'll be tomorrow that we do the resupply. And it's not lost upon me that we just saw an enemy here. I'm hoping that they will exhaust themselves on these troops before too much else happens. Let's get the town hall now and pick up some Thunderbirds here. 1,200 gold left. Even that's going to be enough. Really, it will be. Just the 2 Thunderbirds or the 2 rocks that can get down the battlefield. That will absolutely be worth my time for the pickup. Should I wait one more day? No, I got stuff to do. I've got stuff to do, because Yog is going to go through here. He's going to go through these subterranean gates. I don't think we're going to go in this direction. I think that this pack of Thunderbirds is just a lot to deal with. Then again, +1 to your behemoths. I think that that's actually going to be too important to miss out on. The +1's too important to miss out on. And so for that reason, let's ignore these orcs for now. We'll come back. We'll have some additional rocks we can fight with. Let's save the ore, but let's get rid of pretty much all the gems. I don't think we're going to need gems for anything. I don't think we're going to need sulfur for anything. And this trading post is my best chance at actually using these resources for me. Okay. And that's the end of another day. Yep, that was my concern. Okay, and I'm actually so thrilled that the enemy went into the subterranean gate. That's where I want them to go. I do not want any aggression through this gate here. I just can't take that at this time. I got some very important things that I'm doing here. I feel like I really got a timing attack that I want to hit, and I don't want to waste my time coming back with Yog. I'm going to be so certain about this decision. I'm going to get the Mage Guild now, still en route towards my city hall. And we'll pick up the orcs more than anybody else. I think I'm getting into some stack sizes that can actually reasonably deal with some troops and actually do some pretty meaningful damage. Okay. We're going to pick up these troops here on day or tomorrow, and then we're going to go. I don't love it, but that's what we're going to do. There's a part of me that wants to set off now, but especially because we don't know what the enemy's going to do, I think it's fine to wait. Ridding the countryside of the hideous dragon who made sport of eating noblemen's knights, you are honored with the dragon's winged tabard. That's +2 knowledge, +2 power. Pretty darn useless for us. +4 sulfur. And then the ogres, I would like to recruit them. I think we're going to wait, though. They are going to slow me down a hefty amount. And then let's just make this route here. Let's sell that sulfur that we just picked up. and go. And actually, I think that that helps me with this decision. Do I leave 3 orcs on the table for 422 movement points? No, we don't. Okay. Having a little bit of a tough time here. Generally in Heroes 3, you're always going to have better results if you take the time to invest in your economy. That's never going to be a bad decision. You're never going to regret that. And yet, I wonder sometimes, I'm saying to myself, look, I'd love to get out onto the map quicker. I'd love to hit some timing attacks. Sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't work. But I still think that if I can just rush down this castle, that might be better for me than trying to deal with an enemy that has multiple castles. I am still going to go out of my way for this monolith 2-way, but it's not lost upon me that this might be a mistake. Rally flag gives me the movement and it gives me the luck and the morale here. That is going to be pretty useful. 20 goblins is actually pretty good. Let's just make sure that this goes even better. And maybe I can actually save the Wolf Riders this time. I don't know. We will see. It would be really nice to get my orcs and my orc chieftains in the same sack by upgrading them. We will see if we can make that happen, though. Nice. I think I actually want the Thunderbirds to take the hit more than the Wolf Riders. I don't love this decision because the Thunderbirds are really valuable to me, but I think that's the best thing for me. And then here, I really don't want the goblins to take the hit. This is probably my tankiest and best front line. It's weird to put Thunderbirds into danger, but I think that that is going to be the best thing for me. So, and the enemy does wait. We're going to do much of the same. Oh no, they didn't wait. Never mind. 43 damage goes on to the behemoths. We've got a long way to go for these Nagas. They are pretty well cordoned off from this fight. Let's leave a little bit of access for these goblins. Actually, 94 goblins doing 149 to 300 damage. They're going to kill this whole stack. Easy. And then everybody else should just be able to dogpile on this one stack here. So we didn't even lose anybody. Just fine for me. Advanced archery or the diplomacy. If you're going to invest in diplomacy, you better do it. If I had put some more points into my basic estates, I think I might go for the diplomacy. But for now, the combat stats are just too good. We're going to go for that. We're going to pick up 1,500 gold. We're going to pick up the Behemoth Crag in just 1 second. And since we're here, we might as well clean this whole thing out. We really might as well. That's unacceptable, though. Okay. And once again, it may be boring, but it is most correct to use your tactics in this way. I really value tactics very, very highly. It is one of my personal favorite, best skills you can have. Because there's all of these logistics that take place now, and so I don't have to worry about doing it later. And I've never been upset at finding myself preventing losses by just having one single secondary skill. The tactics can actually, I think, prevent the most losses out of anything for you. And just like we saw right there. So we're now up to 2 behemoths. I think that we are going to clear out all of this. We're definitely going to pick up the scholar, pick up the orcs, and then head back up. I think Tyraxor needs to once again sell some gems for me. And it's not lost upon me that it might actually be a good idea to sell some of the crystal. We're going to sell about 10 crystal. 14 crystal. Why sell 14 crystal? Because there's plenty in the Subterranean Gate, and that's going to be gold that we can use now for Krelion to set off. And again, I'm just hoping that the enemy does not come my way. I'm hoping. Let me actually check over here. Do I need the City Hall? No, we've already gotten that. So let's purchase all these troops. And off we go. Okay. I'm so scared. I'm terrified. If this castle falls, then I think that we are forcing ourselves to look at heading straight for ULGAK. And I think it could be done. I really do. I think it can be done. We're going to take the experience here. +1 attack from the Scholar. Something just tells me that it's not unreasonable to try and do what we're trying to do here. We're gonna accept these followers, my word. This is bad. Who do I want to give up? There's nobody I want to give up, but I really want 14 ogres. Which is better, the Naga Queens that you spent 3,200 gold on, or these 14 ogres? Ouch. Ouch. I wish I'd known this was going to happen. 14 ogres. This is 220 hit points. This is over 400. This is like 520. I think that you're just going to go for the flat hit points. 16 attack, 13 attack. I mean, there's no question who's going to do more damage, who's going to be faster, etc., etc. But I think that the ogres are just going to be the better troop. I do, and I hate the way that this is going. But call it a good problem to have, and really it is. It's a good problem to have. Darn. Okay. Still, our stack sizes continue to grow. I'm not going to spend Yog's movement points even to pick up this. We gotta head out. We've got to head back. And we're going to try and get all the rest of these troops over here, the Yog. And if an enemy does come this way, maybe we turn back or maybe we head up. Actually, 4,800 gold. I think it's actually a great time to pick up one more hero. This is Gretchen. Gretchen's got so many goblins. We're going to let the goblins work. Purple has the most powerful forces. Rub it in my face, why don't you? And then this way we can get some more scouting. Because I don't know if I can press out into this town or not. I don't know if there's magical barriers that are guarding it or what. And I'd love to know. We're not going to be able to find out until just a little bit later. Let's actually send Gretchen up here now. If for no other reason than this endless purse of gold, I think it's going to be worth our time to still send Yog up in this direction. Rally flag. We can get the ogres now if we wanted to. We may have a hero chain with Tyraxor where he makes that happen in just short order. Let's have Yog head off. Oh, I guess we don't need that. Okay. Yeah. And then actually, maybe the hero chain is going to look like from here to there and there to here. We do have one big purchase, the City Hall finally. That's going to be 1,000 gold up to 2,000 gold per day. So ultimately our kingdom is looking like this. No sulfur, no mercury, no gems. But we do have, looks like 5,000 gold per day. 2 gems per day. And even though we just sold a lot of crystal, we do have 20 right now. We could take a look at maybe getting the upgraded behemoths. And that's actually a pretty big upgrade. But the gold is going to be a big problem. Probably best off to work on getting this castle and the capital before too much else goes down. Purple is scary. Purple is going to be here in 2 turns. Call it 2 turns. They're coming back. I can almost guarantee it. Let's do this big hero chain. Here. Whoop, not you. In fact, I'm going to give 1 stack of fire elementals over while Krellion goes to pick up some of this extra stuff. Okay. And then we are in it to win it. Tyraxor with these troops should be able to clear out these orcs. And Yog is going to continue on. War Machine. Do we need a War Machine? Is it going to be useful for us or just not very useful for us? As far as our troops go, 12 shots, 24 shots. So the ammo card I don't think is going to be that good. I don't really put a lot of stock into the first aid tent unless I've got first aid as a skill. I don't think we're going to pick up that any War Machine. In your travels, you find a leather purse filled with gold that once belonged to a great warrior king who had the ability to transform any inanimate object into gold. That is, I believe, a reference to King Midas. Okay, I really like that we have Gretchen as the scout here. Whoa, that's worth knowing. Yeah, very glad we got Gretchen as the scout here, because that changes my opinion on what we ought to do. ULGAK is so close. It's so close, my word. And we're hoping that it's day 1 before the enemy gets here. Let's get this castle now. And so that's going to be 2 behemoths, 3 behemoths every single week. And should I be investing over here more? 1,000 gold and a little bit of wood, a little bit of ore. I think that that's worth your time. But note how slim the margins are. We only have about 500 gold right now. So it's been close. Okay, and there's the enemy. The enemy is upon us. They and Thant. I don't care about Thant, but they is pretty scary. It's going to be day 1 tomorrow. Please don't be able to reach me from here. I think he can if he wants to. I think that he can reach me if he wants to. Oh boy, you're going to want a hero. Probably Thorgrim. Of course, that is if we're able to get a full week's worth of creatures here. Dwarven Treasury might be worth getting some gold. We might be able to get some gold anyway. Stig is back. She's pretty beefy. Seer's Hut. Let's see what's down here. Okay. And ultimately, I think Gretchen's about to go down, but Gretchen's served their purpose. They've done quite well. I think we can get the ogres and this castle. Do we need the crystal? We really don't need the crystal, but they might join us. Nope, they don't join us. We're just going to take them for experience. 480. We can still reach. We can still reach. Okay. Alrighty. 2 goblins goes down. That's definitely reasonable. And then do we stay over here overnight? I think yes for the +1 for the Hall of Valhalla. +1 attack here. Shaun of the or Shield of the Yawning Dead and a Warrior's Tomb. That's actually a pretty nice pickup if we can get it. Looks like this changes my opinion on this map, by the way. So, what did we just learn? I wasn't sure until Gretchen was able to explore if we could just go from here straight on into here. It looks like we're going to have to go through these subterranean gates, and that means to me that we must do a long scenario. We must do our very, very best to prevent the enemy from getting our back line. This can't be a game or a scenario where we just kind of sneak in and meet the win condition. We have to overwhelm our enemy. So with that being said, I think it's time to head back. I'd love to pick up, Dwarven Treasury or Naga Bank or some of these extra things. I don't think it's going to be the very best use of my time. I don't. This was the poor decision, and I didn't know it until just now. Okay. We've got a little bit of gold. I will pick up the ogres, even though that might prevent some extra troops that Thorgrim might have on day 1 tomorrow. I'm just going to have to hope that they can't get here. If they can get here, we are in serious trouble. And let's see what we got. Gretchen goes down. I'm going to try and take a look at what Stig has, actually. 1 attack, 1 defense, 4 power, 3 knowledge. And then it looks like, just real ragtag group of troops. Nothing I'm really concerned about. Oh, and they go the other way. We're good. We're good. Okay, that is so very nice. That could have been so bad. Does that mean that I spend the time with Yog to go and pick up all this? That's a +3 to your defense. Guaranteed, not to mention something in the Warrior's Tomb. I think it's worth my time. We're gonna go attack these guys. I'm not gonna lose 2 Thunderbirds. I mean, I might, but I just don't think it's gonna be required. And definitely, I don't think I have to lose the goblins. If anything, I think that I can put the ogres out here as bait. Yeah, I'm just going to put the ogres out as bait. They're really tough. They're going to take a hit for me. They're going to do just fine. Okay. And we're actually going to leave room for the wolves to come out whenever they want to. We're going to wait. We do lose. Whoa! I didn't realize how many ogres we were going to lose on that. I guess 17 rocks can do a whole ton of damage. My bad. Okay. Am I going to lose a behemoth on this retaliation? Rocks do 217 damage? we have way more defense skill than the ogres have, so I'm not going to lose a behemoth, but geez. Yeah, 62 hit points left, and then we overwhelm. My word. What a massive, massive stack of rocks. Goodness gracious. And then I am going to take the expert archery. Our stack sizes for our orcs are getting pretty significant. And I don't have the gold in this scenario, I don't think, to do too much as far as diplomacy goes. Your troops discover an eerie shrine dedicated to the undead. You bless the shrine, causing the stone shield emblem above the altar to crack. Underneath it is a real shield, which you decide to separate from this unholy place. +3 to our defense. Excellent. And then we got to get this warrior's tomb. This is part of our decision making and taking all this. And this is excellent for the +2 attack, +2 defense. We pick up the red dragon flame tongue. We do lose our morale, and so we got to fight a fight before we do too much else. But overall, thrilled for that. Pick up gold there, pick up gold here. I don't really care about the sulfur, but we only have 149 movement points left. I will take that. I will do that. Only the green and the gold dragons are good. Red and black dragons serve Nyon, and bone and ghost dragons are the vile creations of the necromancers. Truth. I think that just the rocks alone should be able to deal with these orcs finally. I'll accept that. And I will pick up these orcs now for the 1,000. I think I got at least one more day before Vey comes up and tries to fight us. In fact, Hyraxor should probably have purchased everybody he could and then tried to escape with this army. Vey is looking pretty tough, so a little bit scared about that. But again, we do have some additional time, so I'm going to pick up some of these freebies here. I'm even going to go look at this refugee camp just to see. Thorgrim's just hiding, hoping, and I'm worried that Vey is going to attack Hyraxor right now. Is it worth it to purchase any of these troops just so they can't have them? I think so. But if I do, then there's not going to be any gold on the other end for the defense. Let's pick up the goblins, and then we'll leave the wolves. But yeah, we are out of movement points. I really wish I'd done this differently. Then again, maybe Vey can't go through a pack of Cyclopes. Maybe not. Let's wait and see. But tomorrow we will have 6,000 gold extra. That feels pretty okay. Oh, that's close. That's close. It's close. And now, this is the question. Should I run? Should I run and save these troops? I think so. I think that you open fort, you give the rest of this all away, and you just sprint as far and as fast as you can. Krelion, can I do a hero chain? Can I assist here? I might be able to, actually. Let's just see. Is there a chance? This is going to be, out of my 1,600 movement points, it's going to be about half. And that's going to be about 400. We can get to probably here. That might actually be enough. This might actually be enough. Oh, maybe not. Well, we're going to get that much further away anyway. I don't love that. That was probably not the best use of my time, but maybe that's just enough that Vey cannot come and get us. I think that Vey will not turn down a free castle. I truly don't think that they will. Let's find out. Let's wait and find out, though. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to go the long way because we can't go through this garrison just yet. Really can't. We really shouldn't. Let's have all these troops head on over. And we're going to follow with Krelion. Krelion's going to try and pick up this refugee camp for us and a few other things. Whatever else we can find. That's going to counteract the bad effects of our morale, which is good. And then I actually think that Hyraxor can pick up some other freebies over here. And back to the trading post so we can trade at a better clip. Are you coming right for me, Vey? I think he is. And I think that with that being said, even though we may lose all of these troops, let's purchase the most important troops that I do not want to fight later. Let's purchase troops in that order. Thorgrim's actually going to be pretty useful. 2 attack, 3 defense. He's not going to be terrible. Plus the resistance. I will keep the troops here. The dwarves and the centaurs. And I think I'll even split off a couple of these Thunderbirds just in case, because I don't think that this army is so scary. It's not looking good, but I've seen worse. I really have. Where did they go? Or Thant? Yeah. Is Thant going to ignore Yog and go straight for Krelion? Hope not. We'll see though. Oh. Okay, and then you go back. I don't hate that decision. I think that's a pretty good decision. Thant has so few of troops, I think that I can just do it like this. I'm going to do a full swap. Destroy. Accept those losses. And head back. And do one more swap like this. We'll pick up the refugee camp and the sawmill in just a moment. We better pick up these Medusa stores. Never mind. Did we defeat those? We must have. We must have. And eventually Vey is going to get caught, but now we have our most important castle. And now I feel really good about having not really invested so much into this castle here. Plus we got out all the troops. We'll call that worth it. We'll call that worth it. I do want to know what else is over here. I think it's worth our time to send Tyraxor as a scout. Not really to defend here or anything like that. I'd like to find out if the Dwarven Treasury has troops or not. But I think I'd rather get through this subterranean gate even more. So we're going to do that in just one moment. And then actually, I think Thorgrim is going to do enough for us. I don't think that Yog needs to come back here. I don't think so anyway. Should we wait for the capital? Yeah, I think that we should wait for the capital. We're going to have enough gold tomorrow. And we do want to pick up all these other free troops and whatever else we have. And so Thorgrim's going to come on out. He's going to meet up with Yog. I'm just hoping that there's no hero right here. I think that we've seen all their major scary heroes. We're going to abandon Crag and go forth from there. That changes my decision on Tyraxor by a lot. And mostly that's because I don't think that his scouting in this direction is going to be pretty useful at all. It's not. But defending Heartgrim. Against this army? No way. Like, no way. Like, truly. Like, there's no chance. And I don't think it's worth 2,500 gold in a hero just to find out if this Dwarven Treasury or this Naga Bank are available. So we're going to head back now. Krelion does need to still pick up Wolf Riders. We'll do that. It's day 5. But we need to make sure that the enemy doesn't come through this subterranean gate for us now. I think he's just going to keep hopping back and forth through these garrisons, and I don't think that there's anything I can do to stop it. Eventually, you're just going to have to get big enough that you can go through these garrisons. It's not going to be as tough as I think it is. My brain says, oh my gosh, these are too much to handle. You can't do it. It's not going to be as bad as I think it is, though. Truly, I don't. Because of my attack and my defense again. Okay. We're going to assist in cleaning all this back up. I think that it's not a bad time to start upgrading troops. Orcs into Orc Chiefs. The Hobgoblins, Wolves, etc. So, capital now, and then we're going to start doing some serious upgrades. And we'll probably set off day 1 of next week. It's probably what we're going to do. Okay. Well, let's have Krelion escape. I like Krelion, by the way. Just the portrait he has is super nifty. Just a big fan of it. And then let's actually have Thorgrim move these troops back and forth. And get them back for Yog. Really interesting scenario. So what are the biggest stresses right now? These two garrisons. The enemy can pass through these freely, and I cannot. That's a big problem for me, for obvious reasons. Until I can adequately go through those barriers, they are always going to have an advantage over me. I think I'm just going to have to let them do that. I think I am. One nifty thing, you dog. One nifty thing. Was there something hidden there that I couldn't see before? I think so. I never picked up that one behemoth. That's gonna be 2 more behemoths that he gets. He's trapped. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He has to get through this monolith 2-way and then to a subterranean gate to then go through this area. I think Yog can actually set off right now. We're going to upgrade what we can. I think the Wolf Raiders are actually a bigger upgrade than the Behemoths. Are you kidding me? I think that the Orcs are actually the bigger upgrade, so that way I've got some tactical flexibility. Plus I've got the Archery. Let's do it like that. Let's upgrade the Hobgoblins now. We'll stay put on everybody else. But I think that it's actually time to head on out. We're going to leave the Wolves here on day 1 tomorrow. We're going to upgrade the Wolf Pen. Pick up everybody else. And we're gone. We're gone like the wind. Thorgrim's going to come in right behind us. And I need to make sure that Thorgrim can reach me from here tomorrow. Because he's going to upgrade all these troops and then bring me 1 additional day's worth of creatures. But actually, no, Krellion's going to do that. We're going to set off as far as we can. Krellion's going to ignore this for now and be this leg right here. Because I've got to, I think I can stop him. I think that they has wandered too far down here, and if I can take out they, and I can take out Stig, I can push in this direction, I'll be feeling pretty good. We haven't seen a lot of activity over here. I think that we're going to ignore this activity over here for now. For now. Okay. Alrighty. That's our plan. But yeah, we'll see what he does. Yeah, he can't help himself. He can't help himself. And now I think that I've got enough of a jump on him that I can catch up to him. Feels pretty good. Now, the choice to not get behemoths was simply down to this. The 150 or the 15,000 gold it would have taken to get that Behemoth Crag, that prevents all these other troops from going into my army now. I need the troops now more than I need the behemoths. So, let's purchase everybody. We still can't purchase everybody. We're going to leave a couple of troops on the battlefield. We're going to miss out on some of the hobgoblins. And still that's fine. Still that's okay. Let's get everybody on over. Except for here. We've got this hero chain. We got time. Oh, wait, they're just goblins. Nope, never mind. That's not going to help me. And then boom. Big ups. Big ups. 137 Orc Chieftains, 129 Wolf Raiders, 217 Hobgoblins, 31 Thunderbirds, 17 Ogres, 8 Behemoths. I might be able to take these garrisons, actually. And it might be even worth it for me to find out how big of an army these garrisons have. "19 attack, 16 defense. Let's stick with the original plan. Let's track him down here now, because I think I can. I really think I can. And then we'll make a decision. If we retake the Castle of Crag, that might be our key to go through this garrison if we can't catch up to him. Might be. Okay, we're not going to let these creatures go to waste. Yeah, we are. We've got 2 marketplaces. We're going to trade a little bit of wood. Not a lot, but a little bit. Just to pick up some defenders. 20 goblins. And it's base level castle. Base level defenses. Yeah, that doesn't feel too good. A few and a few. This might actually be enough to prevent her from attacking. Let's find out. Nope, guess not. Really? You only killed 1? Only 1. Does she have like a chain lightning or something? I'm very confused, actually. I have no idea how we're going to lose this fight so bad. Huh. We're going to try and spread out, so that way if she's got like a fireball or something, that she can't hit us super well. So let me do it like this. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. That should make it harder anyway for her to attack me pretty well. Okay, let's see what she's got. I'm a little intrigued as to what exactly... Oh, I don't have any actual defenders. It's just goblins and the wall. Never mind. Never mind, that actually looks right. Yeah, I forget, you need the Citadel to get any kind of range support. My bad. Does pathing through the rally flag help me? I don't think it does. But we do get to reach Vey here now. And we're going to absolutely unload on this guy. He's not even going to know what hit him. I'm going to split off my Thunderbirds because they do so much good in 2 stacks. And we are going to absolutely obliterate you. Good luck, Chuck. Yeah, 37 hobgoblins. The enemy's going to flee. We're going to try and make sure that they don't get the opportunity. And this guy that's been pestering me is not going to pester me any longer. We're going to move our troops into this really kind of aggressive stance. I don't need to defend. I need to be on my game and attack. I want to be in a position where you are going to feel really bad for having challenged me. I think that there's no other troops that they have here that can actually reach the goblins. Or the behemoths for that matter. Actually, wait, who can? The rocks can reach. That's fine. I'll potentially lose a little bit of damage off on the rocks. And then I'm actually going to move the orcs up even. And I don't mind if I take a hit on the ogres. So let's fight this fight now. We're going to get the jump on them. Most important creature for them is probably the rocks and these goblins. I need to shore up these 40 orcs anyway. Let's just do so much damage. So much damage to their goblins. How many goblins? 99 go down. Tremendous. I don't even care so much about these Cyclops. We'll pick up on them in just 1 second because I got the Necklace of Swiftness. Let's focus on these rocks here. 9 goes down to 6. Oh gosh. I will take out the Cyclops more than the ogres. And then now it goes down to the ogres. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Get out of here. I guess that makes sense. Those losses then. Those were unstoppable. I was never going to be able to do any better than that. And now we've secured our area for now. But there's still a lot of purple left on the map that I don't really wish was here. There's no other troops here to get, are there? Not really. We're going to leave the hobgoblins for now. I've got to pick up these orcs, though. We didn't do that before. And now I think it's actually time to get this ogre fort. I think it is. Got nothing else to do at this time. Let's do that. And after we pick up Crag here, we're going to send our forces up north immediately. Because I think that we're the biggest, baddest, toughest guy. And the enemy is currently being routed, I think. And I think that more than anything, I would prefer to make sure that they don't get to regroup and consolidate their forces. Beware the touch of zombies. You may find yourself with disease. We're going to pick up Kyrie, Kyrie. I still need to do that video where I discuss what I think their names are, and then everybody else corrects me. That's still a video that I have planned. Just pretty busy. Why? Because he's got the logistics. He's going to move so far, so fast. He's going to be so good. And there's much to be done here. Yeah, these logistics are pretty darn important, and so far there's been a few cases where the ball has bounced in our favor. I'm pretty happy for that. It's day 3. We still need to pick up this refugee camp. And, we need to at least pick up these orc towers. I don't know about this Behemoth Crag because it's a new week. Did he get the Behemoth Crag last week? He did. And so that means that the defenders are back. We'll have to defeat 3 more behemoths in order to get that Behemoth Crag. That's worth our time, though. That's really worth our time. Okay. This is a big guy. This is a big issue. I think it's time. This is not great, but I think it's time. I'm gonna spend the 2,500 gold. I have to know Okay, your forces suffer bitter defeat. Oh no. Apply the battle result. No. So I can see what they have. 20 ancient behemoths. 20 ancient behemoths, 45 thunderbirds. The low-level troops are not very important. Not the 150 hobgoblins, not the wolf riders. The 35 cyclopes are pretty tough. Is that 70 orc chiefs? I think that's 70 orc chiefs. And then the 50 ogre mages. 20 ancient behemoths, though. 20 ancient behemoths. With this army, 19 attack, 16 defense. And I got the tactics. I think I'm okay to take whatever damage I take from the Cyclopes and their Orc Chiefs. I think I will get the first hit off on these enemies if I choose to fight this fight. And why am I even considering this? I cannot lose this area. And it's going to take me way too long to go all the way around. This is potentially a very bad idea. Even if I come through this fight with a win, that just means I might not have any troops left over to actually fight the enemy. This is tough. I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. We are so close to getting our upgraded behemoths, though. Okay, can we get back here before day 1 of next week? Yes. So what's this potentially going to cost us? This is potentially going to cost us the capital, right? That's going to be 10,000 gold because that's the cost of the capital to upgrade it. It's quite possible that he takes this castle and we still get back there by day 1. And if we get back there by day 1, then we can get 1 more week's worth of troops. Then we can talk about maybe going through this garrison. This area seems pretty well secured. Maybe we go through this garrison to prevent this from ever happening again. And that seems like the safer route. I don't love this. I really don't. This was not the plan. Guys, this was not the plan. This is not what I had in mind. Heartbroken. Just a little bit heartbroken. We're going to head out. There's a chance that this is going to be beneficial in this way. In fact, I know it will be. We're going to do a massive swap here, except, let's see. Yog is going to carry on as far as he can. Maybe not as far as he can, but we got to get these behemoths. We're going to go to right about here. That'll probably be the best. Oh wait, no, we got another hero who can do a hero swap for us. Hey, ogres again. But I'm anticipating losing this area here. Dang. Yeah, so Yog's going to carry on. And then because we have Krellion here, we can do a little bit of a swap if we need to. And that way we do get this Behemoth Crag back. I don't love this at all, but it's the very best thing for me. We'll pick up these final troops. We'll make some upgrades. This is a castle, so it's not going to go down super easy. And you know what? If we give this up, maybe the enemy's actually going to help us out. Maybe they're going to purchase some troops for us. It's unlikely, but it's possible. And maybe he doesn't even go for me. Maybe not. We'll see. He does not go for us immediately. That's pretty nifty. Okay. Here. How are you going to lose? How are you going to lose? No. Nope. Not a chance. No chance. No way. They just lost 1 whole behemoth right there. Come on. Okay. And we are going to pick up 1 behemoth now. We don't have time to pick up these orcs. We got to do some other stuff. And we actually did not go nearly as far as I thought we would. Yog's going to take 1 step out of the way. Krellion's going to try and make it all the way here. And let's see, just a full swap. Full swap. And back. Okay. Yeah, it's going to cost us a little bit of movement, but getting the behemoths is pretty important. And this gentleman bought us some time. So I think that for sure we're still going to lose Morgenheim. We're still going to lose our capital. It is what it is. Okay, very sad. Maybe he's going to see Yog and he's going to absolutely just duck out of town. But we're not going to know until we move just a little bit further. I do think that we want more behemoths. I just don't know about the timing of this. If I want behemoths later, I can get them. I'm going to spend the gold on the Citadel now. Actually, you need a castle to get the +2, don't you? Yeah, castle's a +1 for behemoths, so if I really get the Citadel and I go in that direction, I'm going to need to get more than just the Citadel. I got to get the castle for the additional behemoths if I go in that route. Interesting. You suck. You suck so bad. I hate you. I hate you. I hate him. Look at this. I hate him. But we're protected. Yeah, and he's just going to keep hopping back and forth, or at least that's what I would do. Let's go back, pick up these freebies. Try not to lose all of our heroes. We're actually going to sit right here just so that way we can get some troops through the monolith one way. And I think that we're just literally going to sit right here with Yog so that way we can respond one way or the other. Maybe even planning on going all the way in this direction in just 1 second. Let's attack this. 21 goblins seems about right. Expert offense, big pickup. And then 10 of each resource. That's a massive pickup. He's got such a small army, but there's nothing I can do to stop him. Okay. Maybe, again, they'll pick up the behemoths for me. Possible. Possible. On to the new day. Day 7. Day 1 is when we're going to set off. And you know what? I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, look, I've got a big enough army to defeat ULGAK, and my behemoths are going to be better than any of their troops right now because I went for the 6th speed or the 7th level creatures. Maybe I just focus on the behemoths. And I go straight through this garrison. I ignore this area. It's been great. It's been real. It's been fun. But now it's done. Maybe we just... Now we actually rush for the final objective. Otherwise, you're going to get caught in this perpetual loop where you're just going to fall further and further behind. And you're not going to be able to ever really catch up to the enemy. That's a very real concern. That's a very real concern. I don't think it's a bad idea for me to prepare myself for that possibility. We can get up to right here. I think that tomorrow we're going to set off. I was thinking about heading this direction, but we're going to want to upgrade the behemoths anyway. But it's time. It's time to do something decisive, I think. Something decisive. And that's really the biggest thing I think about Heroes Might and Magic 3, is knowing when to pick your spots. Because, especially in the campaigns, you're always going to be at some disadvantage. Clearly, we're at a disadvantage here. But eventually you get to the point where you're strong enough to meet your objectives if you just go straight for them. And now is that time, in my opinion. Now is the time to upgrade 2 behemoths, or ancient behemoths. I wish that I was sitting here on this trading post. Can you make it? You can make it. Great. We're going to end up trading a lot of resources. We're going to do this now. Upgrade the behemoths. We are still pretty darn short on resources here. There's 7, or there's a few. 2,500 gold. Okay. And then we have 40 crystal. Let's trade up to about here for now. All of this, all of this, all of everything else here. Because we're not going to be upgrading any other castles or anything like that. We're just going straight for the jugular at this point. And now, is it best to get 3 more behemoths or to get some other smattering of troops? I do think that, well, first off, are there any other troops we need to upgrade? No. Everybody else is pretty much upgraded. And the behemoths are going to be an absolute power stack. We have 2,000 gold left. We may be able to get one more resupply from Thorgrim in short order, but this is going to be the ultimate fighting force that we have, and I do like it. As far as our splits for this upcoming garrison, do you want to split off one single Thunderbird? That seems like a weird choice. Do you want to split off one single Hobgoblin? Probably not. Probably want to split off at least one Thunderbird though, because they're your fastest creature. I think that's going to be the best thing for us. So we're going to set off right now. We're doing it. Kyrie, whatever his name is, he's going down. And then I could absolutely wait one more turn for this resupply. I think I shall. No sense in picking up the boars. And now we're going into fasting mode. I will set off with Yog tomorrow. We're going to lose basically 400 movement points in order to get an extra, what, 6,000 gold? Maybe less, probably less, because we only have one castle now, huh? But even an additional 4,000 gold is going to go a long way. Oh, we do have 6,000 gold. That's pretty darn useful, because that's going to be here and here. And let's call it the Hobgoblins. Yeah. 400 movement points to get all these additional troops. That seems like a good use of my time. Okay. And folks, I don't love this fight. I really don't. But we're going to win. And now I think I like my choices, especially because we've upgraded the behemoths to the ancient behemoths. That's an additional 140 hit points, not to mention the damage, not to mention the attack skill, not to mention that their speciality of reducing the enemy's defense goes from 40% ignored up to 80%. Yeah, we're a fighting force. We are big. We're scary. I wish we had a mass haste or a mass slow, but unfortunately, Yog is just going to have to be the biggest, baddest barbarian he can be. Okay, we can do even better than this, for sure. And then I think that the troops we have left over will be able to kind of help us press this advantage. Let's continue on like this. So focusing on Orc Chieftains being defended. I don't think, let's see. Right now, their Thunderbirds are not in a position where they can attack us. We're going to leave one Thunderbird down at the very bottom. We're going to leave... Actually, we're going to leave the Ogre Magi pretty exposed, I think. And I do want these troops to take the first hit. I don't care about the damage from their Orc Chiefs. I really don't. I really don't. Have the Behemoths go up. And the Thunderbirds go up. Okay. Now we start combat here. So we're going to wait. We're going to take their first shots with their Orcs and their Cyclopes. And we're going to accept whatever losses we get. I might even lose one Thunderbird. They might focus on this one single stack. I don't know. We'll find out. That necklace of speed is actually going to be pretty useful. As you can tell, we are +1 speed on all these creatures. We're going to get the first hit, though. Let's see. Ogre Magi can even take this first hit from these behemoths. That'll probably be the best thing for me. I don't really need the Bloodlust. I don't want to say I don't love it. I don't need the Bloodlust more than I need anything else. But this is the stack that we have to contend with. This is not going to be a waste at all. This can be 3 behemoths go down. One more. 19 Ogre Magi go down. We're going to take a wallop. Oh, we're actually fine. We're good to go. And then everybody else, it's just time to unload. Just go. Just kill them. Leave room for the ancient behemoths to get their whack in. And then actually, I think that the Wolf Raiders are the best offensive unit aside from the behemoths. Yeah, buddy. That's pretty slick. Am I going to waste damage here? No. It's never a waste. It's never a waste. Absolutely. A lot of Hobgoblins just went down there. Not happy to see it. I think that we can clean up their Hobgoblins here, though. We can. And we get the extra little bit of a rush. Let's kill 1k damage here. Let's kill the Orc Chiefs as much as we can here. And then we're just going to sit right here with our one Thunderbird. Nope. I know that you really want to get into the fray, buddy. Don't do it. I've got bigger plans for you. And then since those Orc Chieftains have been taken out, I don't know. Do you focus on the Wolf Raiders? I think so. They're a really good offensive unit. They're going to go after their ancient behemoths. Let's do that now. We'll kill half the stack, maybe more. We'll kill the whole stack. Sure, why not? Let's do that. There goes all of our cute little hobgoblins. A great unit, but they've just officially done their job. That is their job, and I'm thrilled that they've done their job. I don't think my Ogre Magi are going to take any attention here. I think the Ogre Magi are actually going to take the retaliation from those Thunderbirds. And then the Wolf Raiders can actually attack the Thunderbirds. That's what we're going to do. And that's going to leave... I've got to deal with these Ogre Magi anyway. I think that's going to be the best way I can do that. So we're going to wait. No, I needed those. Buddy, I had a plan. And you ruined it. Yep. Okay. The AI is pretty good. They're doing a good job of keeping track of where I'm at and what I'm doing. Let's just kill the rest of these Thunderbirds. We'll kill about half and then half. Yeah. Okay, not too bad. Cyclopes are gonna get attacked by my behemoths. We go here, here. And sayonara, friend. Those losses are not amazing, but acceptable. So we were always going to lose all the hobgoblins. This time we lost 50 of the wolf raiders. We didn't lose any of the behemoths, though. I think that was really the key, because the behemoths are just that much more useful, that much more powerful. The power scale in Heroes 3 is much different than the power scale in Heroes 2. Heroes 2, you get some 6th level creatures, and they are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times as important as the 5th level creatures right behind them. Those 6th level creatures have this exponential gain in quality. Heroes 3, not so much, and yet keeping every single ancient behemoth is probably worth about 50 hobgoblins. So, overall, I think that was fairly worth it. Again, I don't love the losses, but we'll take it. Yog can no longer gain any more experience. We just picked up a whole ton. Expert Ballistics, we're going to be fighting castles. That is a must-have. I think that we are going to take the estates over the diplomacy. And then are we going to leave any troops here? I don't think so. And I think that now we continue on. The only thing I need to focus on is our objective now. We're going to ignore everybody else. And it looks like the best way to get there is to go through this underground here. So that's what we're going to do. There's a +1 I'd love to pick up, though. Yeah, we're going to pick up the +1. I'm going to ignore that castle. I am going to ignore that castle. And this is the way, right? This is the way. Let's pick up one more hero. No, it's going to be Thorgrim. Thorgrim's going to come up and try and help me do some exploring up here. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. No. There's a subterranean gate. You can go through here. How do you get to here? Interesting. We're going to find that out very quickly. But if I can avoid any more garrisons, that'll be the absolute best thing for me. Okay. The biggest thing that I'm really sad about, I think, at this point is this. I'm going to miss out on +1s to attack, to defense, etc., etc. And that's really not a small thing. How do I mean? These +1s to defense there. Every single barbarian castle's got a Hall of Valhalla. That could potentially be +1 attack I've missed here, +1 attack I've missed here, +1 attack I've missed here, and here. That's not lost upon me. But I think that at some point I've just got to call it and say that we need to win this scenario now. Yog is going to get lots of attack skill over time. Let's just get out of this scenario. Let's do our very best to just get out of this scenario. No need to fight Cyclops there. We're going to pick up these Orc Chiefs because they fit seamlessly into our army. And there are behemoths here. They shouldn't be too big of a problem. I say that, watch as they become a big, big problem. A couple of stacks of Wolf Raiders. Yeah, let's not lose that many Wolf Raiders. I think that with a little bit of clever planning, we can eliminate a lot of losses that we don't need to really take. So you must slot in here. And I don't think that these ancient behemoths are going to go all the way around. So I think that I'm fine to leave one Thunderbird here, just like this, and start combat. Okay. And then we just wait. Hope for no good morale. There is none. The first troop that gets the opportunity to take this retaliation will. There they go. And then probably... Oh, jeez. Yeah, we're doing... You think we're doing some good damage? I think we're doing some good damage. I think I'm actually going to kill this one behemoth. Aw, rats. It was close. It was not that close. There was 12 hit points there, and we ended up doing not nearly so good. I have an opportunity because of that good morale. I think I'm actually going to attack these 8 behemoths here. Yeah, I'm going to attack these 8 behemoths. I think that my 35 can do so good right here. And then 8 hit points left. That one Wolf Raider was not in vain. Okay. And then no need for experience, no need for anything else. This should plop us out right into our objective. The enemy should not have seen us coming. They do retreat back to their main castle. I don't care about Gerewolf. I don't care about these other enemies. I do care mostly about that attack skill that we're going to miss out on. But this is a fight that I can take, I will take, and I shall take. Journal entry number 11. I would think that my being this close to the capital would attract Winston Boragus' attention. Well, I'm not just going to sit here while they prepare an attack. I'm going to make this barbarian pay for duping me. So be it. Thant is not the hero that they wanted here. He's just the hero that was around. We should have picked up this Idol of Fortune. I don't want to give them one more day to pick up additional troops. I don't think it's going to matter either. The enemy has fled. The enemy has fled. Oh, it must have been just Thant. Yeah, it was just Thant out here, and then the Garrison creatures are right here. Let me do one more split on these creatures, just like this. 2 stacks of behemoths. Let's do that. 2 stacks of behemoths. That'll prevent me from falling prey so easily to slows and curses and things like that. But we should win this fight. We do. We're going to know that this is going to be a victory for us, and we're going to take our victory lap. Generally, what you see me do when I know that the battle is won is I just hit the auto combat and let the AI fight it for me, because there's no way I could lose this fight even if I tried. Well, okay, I guess I'll fight it just in case somebody says, "Hey, Fixbox is worried that he might mess up," and so he's probably going to just let the AI win his fights for him. No. Don't confuse. Don't be confused. I got this. Don't worry. Not a problem. Okay, so there goes their behemoths. I don't know which is actually better, 24 Ogre Magi or the 4 behemoths. Probably the behemoths. Probably. And then I kind of hoped that the Wolf Riders would actually get onto these rocks. They don't. We're a little bit slow. Mass slow. Very interesting. Huh. Very, very interesting. Did we just lose a behemoth? We do not. We are still too tough for them. Yeah. When I got 21 attack, 18 defense versus 3 and 2, it's not even a question. Let's see if we can take out one of these turrets. We do. Very nice. And then from here, I don't think that there's any problem with hitting the auto combat. Ta-da! So 39 Wolf Raiders, 1 of the Thunderbirds goes down. And the big loss in this scenario is that we did not pick up every single +1 to our attack. And that is going to hurt us for future scenarios. But when we are at 21 attack right now, we're doing okay. You max out, by the way, just in case you're interested. We mentioned at the very beginning of the scenario, the attack versus the defense and how that works. Remember, every point of attack over defense is 5% bonus damage. Every point of defense over attack is 2.5 damage reduced. You max out essentially at 300% bonus damage. So if you have 60 attack over an enemy's defense, then you've maxed out at your top 300%. And if you, I think it's 70%, you can reduce damage down to 30% total. And so I think that margin is much closer. I think that is 20 something. I'm not going to do the math right now. But the point is that we're actually not too far away. You consider how much attack our behemoths have when they first start off, and they ignore the defense of the enemy creatures. Oh yeah, we are already an offensive juggernaut. We are already quickly approaching that 300% bonus damage. And again, another reason why that, on top of our expert offense, why our ancient behemoths are just that good. So y'all can gain no more experience. Crest of Valor. Congratulations, you've captured ULGAK. You are victorious. Thank you. I appreciate it. And that's going to be that. So folks, thank you for the time. I appreciate all the people that are spending time with me. I'm grateful to be able to do these playthroughs. I really do enjoy Heroes of Might and Magic 3, and I really do love Heroes of Might and Magic 2. And we're going to continue to do those both back and forth again and again and again and again, because can you ever have too much Heroes of Might and Magic in your life? I think not. Folks, look out for you. Look after your friends. Look after your family. And ultimately, again, if you are not looking after you, who will? So look after what matters most. My name is FixFox, and we will see you back here for Scenario 3 in the Birth of the Barbarian, A Tough Start. Until then, I'll see you around.